Hey guys.
Hey guys.
Yeah. Hey. I don't. We're not going to go through that again.
Yeah.
Eric and Tom, 4Up Gaming. A little bit different perspective because we're trying out a different camera, or I guess the same camera in a different way. And so anyway, the video might look a little bit different.
If this camera's going like this.
Yeah.
Just how it is.
We're not trying to make you guys sick. We're trying out something different. So hopefully the video reception comes in better. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to do another top 5 video. Seems like you guys really enjoy those.
Yeah, they're fun to do.
And I enjoy doing them.
I do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just in regards to our last top 5 video, we did have some comments that people did let us know that the King's Champion, my number 1 pick, the unit strength 1 that was listed on there is actually a typographical error, kind of like I thought it was.
Yeah, we all figured it was.
But they're like, oh, Mantic's gonna FAQ it. I haven't seen any FAQs.
No, I haven't seen the FAQs yet.
So with that being said, Mantic, where's your FAQs? I haven't seen them. I did see it on Easy Army that they had changed it, but if Easy Army is
going to... Fanatics people posting that it was changed, but I haven't seen like actual proof it's been changed.
Right. So hopefully we can find something
to
help validate that. But anyway, so that has been changed, or possibly changed, maybe
changed.
I'll take it right now. It's still my number 1 pick just because it's 145 points and it's very inspiring. So, and he gives Fury. I mean, there's a lot. Anyway, we're not going to go back into that video.
Yeah.
But yeah, for those of you that are out there. And then we also had another comment in regards to the undead. Someone wanted us to go a little bit more in depth into the undead. I will be doing an undead video where I kind of go over all my all my units that I have and kind of showcase my whole undead army. At that time for that video, I'll also kind of go through what I think strengths and weaknesses are for the undead.
I could sum it up. I hate undead. So there it is.
Undead is one of the only armies that you can almost play any play style.
Yeah, that's exactly it. They have every unit, every type of unit. Like they have every option you available. You can do hammer, you can do anvil, you can do flying. They have everything.
They have everything.
Yeah.
And that's one of the strengths, I think, obviously, of the undead.
Yeah.
They also have just so many different units.
Oh yeah, every different type.
If you want to play ghouls, you can play ghouls that are more fast. You can play zombies. You can play skeletons.
Everything. Yeah.
You can play an elite army.
They have enough dragons to do.
Yeah, you can do
flying circus.
You can
deal. Oh yeah.
You can do anything. You could do as even though I don't think the tar pit really exists anymore, but you can do a hammer anvil.
Yeah.
You can do a trash list.
Anvil. You can do trash list. He's done that. The trash list is nasty.
The trash list
nonsense.
is nasty.
Bunch of zombies and stuff.
So you can do a whole lot with the undead, and I think that speaks to their strengths.
Yeah.
I
think it's the best army in the game, honestly. That's just my opinion.
I agree. I agree. Being an undead player, even though I love my elves and I love my Riftforged orcs, the undead is.
Orcs. Don't forget regular orcs.
I'm sorry, regular orcs. What am I saying? Yes, as much as I enjoy playing all those other armies, the undead,
the hard part about undead is to balance it all, to have it all work in synergy and come together and.
Yeah, that is the difficulty.
Because you have so many cool options. You're like, man, I want to do this and this and this, and you build a list and it's like 4,000 points. Oh yeah, I only can play 2,300 or whatever you play.
Yep, and then you're like, well, what do I want to cut? Well, I don't want to cut that. I
like that. Yeah, that's really cool.
I like that. I don't want to lose that either.
That's the hardest part of undead.
Yep. So anyway, I'll be doing an undead showcase video where I'll kind of go over my whole undead army, and I'll do that another time. But for now, we're going to get into our next top 5 list, which is top 5 magical artifacts.
I wrote this about 10 minutes ago, so we will be good with this.
This one was a little bit challenging merely because we kind of had to set limitations.
Yeah.
Because we were like, well, are we going to talk about all war gear? Are we going to talk about war gear that's specific to certain armies? Like, for example, the Shard Blade.
With the elves. That up. I was like,
right.
Yeah, we're not going to do that. We're not going to get into that stuff.
Yeah, that would have been way
too
too
straight
much.
Magic items from the book.
Yep.
Including the new 2020, I think we're including that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I figured why not? Well, because some of the tweaks, some of the things that they changed actually affect other artifacts.
Yeah.
So, in fact, a couple of tweaks that they did this time knocked some of the stuff that I would have had in top 5. So, we will definitely be going over some of the changes from the from the COC 2022 artifacts that have come in and stuff and how they've changed stuff. But with all of that being said, let's get into the video. I think you started last time, so I'll start this time. My number 5 is the Skirmisher's Boots.
What is that one? Nimble? I don't even know what that one is.
It is
I think-
nimble for
is that
troops.
nimble?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
how-
from the new?
From the new, it's new
right.
Clash of Kings 2022 War Gear. We haven't really been able to play a whole lot with the new War Gear, but I super like this War Gear item because it's 10 points and it gives a troop nimble.
What's the other one in the big book?
Wine of Elvenkind?
Yeah, how many points is that?
Oh god, that's like 40.
Is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Okay.
Yeah, it's super. It's this one's super cheap compared to that one, and that one you can give to anything. You can give to
Oh, yeah.
regiments, swords.
That's what I was wondering. I'm like,
Yeah.
what's the point difference? But
And so
I guess for 10 points. For
I
the
think it's
troop.
fun. You know, you throw it on a troop unit. Let's say you got a troop of berserkers, or you got a troop where you're like, I want them to be a little more viable, but I don't want to throw too much points at it.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
And just so you guys understand, with my list, the way I look at artifacts, because Tom and Juicy don't use a lot of artifacts.
No, I don't like them.
But the way that I always approach artifacts is I like artifacts that are passive mostly. And when I say passive, I mean that you're going to have that skill every part of the game that's obviously your turn to play. I like it that you don't have to roll for them.
Yeah.
I like it that you just, once you give that War Gear item to that unit, they have it.
Yeah.
And to me, that's important because if you have to roll for it, I think sometimes you're not going to get it. And so
Yeah.
there might be a couple turns where, you're paying 25 points for example, Shroud of the Saint.
Oh, yeah.
And what if you roll 1, 2, and a 3 or zeros or zeros? Yes, if you roll zeros, let me know.
Hot dog.
If you roll 1s or 2s or
The dice
3s,
spontaneously combust.
yeah,
Oh.
boom. If you don't, obviously, if you're not successful, then that 25-point item is not doing you any good.
Yeah.
Whereas something like this, like the Skirmisher's Boots, pretty much everything else on my list, it's passive. So you have it. You don't have to roll for it. You just have it.
That's the lamest War Gear choice for top 5.
I like it, man. What I
That's
like
the
about it
lamest
is
one.
it's 10 points. It's nimble. It's one of those where you don't necessarily originally think about it. That's not one of those where you build a list being like, ooh, yes, I'm
Yeah.
going to give. But it's one of those where you're like, oh, I could fit that in here. I could fit that in here. To me, it's the old fire oil, where like you're gonna fit fire oil in because it's
I
5
know,
points.
right?
Well, this is 10 points, and you're like, yeah, I'll make that troop, nimble, because then I can do all kinds
Yeah.
of jankiness with it, and I like it. I really like it. I think I'm excited about it because it's so easy and so basic, and yet you're only giving it to a troop. So is it gonna really throw things out of balance? No.
No.
Are you going to be upset about putting it on a 10-point War Gear item on a troop choice? No, it's whatever. You know what I mean? And that's why I made my top 5. What about you? What's your top 5?
My top 5?
Or your number 5?
Fire oil.
I knew it!
Fire oil.
I knew it!
It is 5 points.
Yep.
It is. I mean, it never works for me against him. Every time I have it, like I have it in this game, and I'll never get to use it.
Nope.
But but 5 points. It is crushing. It's the cheapest crushing you can get.
Yep, that's true.
It works sometimes, and it's a cool magic item. Mm-hmm.
For 5 points.
You also have that 5 points
For
left
5
over,
points.
And there's garbage there. I mean, there's like Mace of Crushing or whatever, and that's great. If you have a
Blade of
dragon.
Slashing.
Blade of Slashing. That's great. I like Fire Oil. Because, man, if you can get a unit like a Horde with Crush 1 for 5 points, or Crush 2 or whatever up into Crushing, that's pretty cool. For 5 points.
The other thing to think about, too, with Fire Oil is, okay, Mace of Crushing or Blade of Slashing, all those.
Or the Healing
you're rolling,
Brew. It's
yeah,
like one
you're
wound.
rolling
Great.
1 dice.
Yeah.
You're rolling 1 dice.
The
With
possibility of Fire Oil.
Fire
is-
oil, exactly. Because if you have it on a horde, let's say you've got it on a horde of your dwarves that do 25 attacks.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? You're attacking a unit with regen. Now
It's
that
a
whole
huge
horde,
deal.
all of those,
The 5
all
points
those
is-
hits
the
happen.
possibility of that 5 points helping you out is
Mm-hmm.
way better than a Healing Brew where you're going to get 1, maybe 2 wounds back. Or like,
And then-
I reroll 1 hit.
I think Healing Brew is only 1 use per game, right?
1 use per game.
So
Yeah,
once you
they're
use
all-
it, it's done.
Yeah.
That to me is like, I would much rather have Fire Oil where it's 5 points
Oh, yeah.
and the likelihood of using it is there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's as long as somebody plays regen. Now, if they don't play regen, then it's
Screwed.
worthless.
But I mean, it's 5 points, so you're not out anything.
Right,
Really.
it's not
You're
going to
out 5
hurt you
points.
that bad.
That thing 5 points you come up with at the end of building life, you're like, I have 5 points.
Yeah, what am I going to do with this? Yeah, exactly. Hey, Fire Oil, when it's there, man, it's on.
Heck yeah.
You wrecked my mummies in
Yeah.
a game with Fire Oil because you were hitting like Crush 3, and I'm like, oh no.
So nice.
I can't regen
Yeah,
those
do a little
back.
Bane Chant, little Fire Oil.
Yeah.
Little Crush 1 already. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Fire
super
oil.
super good. All right. Well, number 4. My number 4 is an oldie but goodie. Not as important anymore because of the changes to Inspiring, but my number 4 is Inspiring Talisman.
Yeah, that was close.
Yeah, it's 20 points, which is right on the border of like, ooh, that's kind of pricey. But when you need Inspiring,
Oh yeah.
you need Inspiring. And that's my thing about Inspiring Talisman.
So I think it lost a lot because of the new like everything inspires now,
Yeah.
kind of. So
And
it
I-
kind of lost a lot of cred to me.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. It's one of those items where when you're building a list, at least for me, and I'm throwing in heroes. A lot of times I look for Inspiring. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, where I want to have at least 2 or 3 different pockets of Inspiring.
Oh yeah, the 2,300 points. I think you should have at least
least
two.
3,
At
right?
least 2.
Oh yeah, 2 or 3.
At least 2.
And what's nice is, let's say you don't want to do the battle standard or the army standard bearer, and you want to still give somebody Inspiring like a wizard. I
Yeah.
use it a lot with my elves because the archmage to me should be Inspiring anyway. But whatever. So I give them an Inspiring Talisman, 20 points.
Yeah, if you're gonna do mage,
Yeah.
lightning bolt spam or something like that. Yeah, definitely.
And to me it's 20 points. Now it's only can be given to to heroes, I should
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
So it's not something you're going to stick on just a regular old unit.
Yeah.
But the likelihood of it affecting you and helping you, again, you don't have to roll for it.
Yeah.
You automatically have it. And you can build, it's one of the items where you can almost build a list around it. Because
Yeah.
you're like, okay, I got my Inspiring. Boom,
I can see
done.
that. Oh yeah.
That's why I did that for number
Not
4.
bad.
What about your number 4? What's yours?
I got Blade of Sharpness. No, what is it? Brew of Sharpness.
Brew of Sharpness?
Brew of
All right.
Sharpness.
All right,
It is
the big boy?
expensive.
It is super expensive.
Super expensive, but that makes your Death Star unit.
Oh.
If you have a unit that hits on 3s, like some Shield Breakers or Palace Guard or stuff like that, and especially Palace Guard, if you're coming in hitting on 3s,
Yeah.
you lower it to 2s,
Oof.
then you're elite, so you're like,
Auto hitting
what are they,
practically.
25 attacks?
25 attacks.
25 hits, crush 1, you throw a little Bane channel on, you got the little Death Star unit.
Yeah.
So it's a little pointy. You're
Sharpness
making
is-
a Death Star.
Is your number 4?
Yeah.
Damn, I thought it would have been higher up on your list personally. I thought
I
it would
just
have been
don't
like
like the
number
points.
2.
The points is a little much.
And that's why. So it was in my top 10 easily.
Yeah.
But so many points.
So many points.
45 points.
I'm not a warrior
for a
guy.
horde. No, you're not a
Bodies
warrior guy.
over warrior guy. More bodies.
Yeah, you're definitely not a warrior guy.
And for 50 points, like you can do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I think no, I mean,
But I mean, it's great. If you want to make a Death Star or like a crushing unit right up the middle or something, oh yeah.
and you know what? If you're one of those guys that always finds themselves in difficult terrain or going over an obstacle
Oh yeah,
or whatever,
balance it out.
then it
It's
balances
almost like
out. Yeah,
Pathfinder.
It's
if
almost
you're
like
not-
Pathfinder.
Yeah.
Exactly. Now, granted, Pathfinder is I think
Like
what
25,
is it? Yeah,
I think.
Mackwar's potion is 20 points, whereas this is 45
Yeah.
for a horde. I get it; it's expensive, but when you're not going through that, if you are attacking somebody, or let's say you're countering, so the
Yeah.
next turn you're countering back, you're no longer minus
You got
for the
unit
counter.
that's- Yeah, units that hit on 3s.
Yeah,
Hit on
yeah.
2s now?
Or
Hit on 2s is nasty nonsense.
right, or you take a unit that's right there. They hit on 4s, like what are they called? The Northern Alliance. I had them on my top 5. I think it was my top 5
Oh, the
hammer list.
the
Yeah.
Frostfang.
The Frostfang.
Or I think
You take a
that's what they are.
Frostfang. Now, granted, Frostfangs are expensive, but if you really wanted to, you can make them hit on 3s.
Death Star again.
Ooh,
You
Death
just
Star
push the
unit
Death Star
right
units.
there.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's a Death Star maker.
I think that's a good number 4.
Yeah.
Again, my thing is just God, it's so many points.
I know,
so
that's
many
me.
points. 5 points more, and that's a freaking ASB. You know?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's crazy. But all right, I see where you're going. I
Yeah.
see where you're going. Well,
me.
I'm going the opposite direction for this next one.
Fire oil.
And just so you guys are aware, fire oil. And just so you guys are aware, when I'm doing my list, because I utilize war gear again much more than they do. So when I'm doing a list, I always want my war gear to make an impact more than once.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to not roll for it. I like automatic impact,
Yeah.
right? Or passive skill, whatever you want to call
Too
it.
much war gear sucks because you forget it.
You do.
That's
you do
why
forget
I hate
it.
too much war gear.
You do forget
That's
it.
why I'm more of like, I have fire oil. That's my war gear for the 2,300 point army.
So I do have some
Fire oil.
honorable mentions for spot number 3. Anybody that's watched these battle reports enough knows that I like certain war gear. One of those is the Shroud of the Saint. I love
Oh,
Shroud
but
of the Saint,
knock
but it's not my
down.
number 3. It's not my number 3.
Hey,
It was an honorable mention.
It for sure would have made my list.
Yes, but the
That
fact
one dice.
Mhm. The fact that they took Shroud of the Saint from an automatic adding 3
Yeah.
onto it and made it to where if you already have heal, it only adds 2.
They dropped the points
Really
by
changes
5,
it.
so it kind of balances. Maybe I don't know. To me, it's not worth it.
No, to me, and that's why it's not in my top 5. That's why I'm saying this is an honorable mention,
Oh, yeah.
guys.
It would have been top 5 for sure for me.
Yeah, Shroud of the Saint and Boomstick, pretty much anything that gives you that kind of stuff. I enjoyed them before, but now the fact they lose a dice, I mean, I'm still going to use them. Don't get me wrong, but I really think that they're no longer one of those auto includes anymore.
Yeah.
Because. Like
that
you
was
said,
Shroud of the Saint was auto include.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah,
Like,
because
if you had any healing, like
Shroud of
might
the
as well
Saint,
put that on there for 25 points or
boosting
whatever
it.
it was.
I think it was 30.
Was
Which
it
I was
30?
okay with that. You're spending 10 points per one thing to heal.
Yeah.
Okay. But now you're spending 25 points for 2?
It's not so much.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
With that being said, though, my number 3 is one that I also include every time I run my undead army, and that is Hans Sanguinary Scripture.
Oh, yeah.
For 10 points, you're getting Life Leech 1.
And you put it with the whole...
and you put it with my Revenants.
Revenants, and you get, what, 3?
Life Leech 3. And that's...
Nonsense.
Yes, and that's the thing about them is that extra Life Leech, it's automatic.
Yeah.
You don't have to roll for it, as long as you're in combat. Now, that's the catch. If you don't like that, then you could always do Aegis of the Elohai. That's 15 points, though, but you're getting 1 damage back as long as you are...
You can
successfully
take it in
pass
shooting,
your...
which is nice.
Yes, and that is nice. If you're getting shot up a little bit, Aegis of the Elohai, as long as you pass or they don't fail you on your nerve and you get wavered or something, you're going to get it
it's
back.
Iron Resolve, I think, is what it is.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yes, it's exactly what it is. Whereas Life Leech
is only in combat.
But I like Hans because it's only 10 points.
And he
Again,
plays Undead.
Yes, and I play Undead. So for 10 points, you're getting 1
If you play an
point
Undead
damage
army
back.
and you don't have Hans in there somewhere, you're playing it wrong.
Yeah, that's just not right.
Just how it is.
What is your number 3?
Number 3 is Blessing of the Gods. I like Blessing of the Gods because it's elite. It makes you elves. But it's elite and in combat and shooting, which is nice.
Yeah.
So if you have like decimators or stuff like that, it's a double hit, a double whammy for you. And I like it. It's like 30 points, I think, for a horde, 25 for troop regiment. I don't know. Maybe that's not right, but
20 for a regiment, 30 for a horde.
is that what it is?
Yeah,
Cool.
30.
But I like how it double hits on you. So you get it both in shooting and in combat. So you can stack it up on a nice shooting decimator combo.
And that is a big deal. When you have a unit like Decimators,
Yeah.
Or a unit like Seaguard, even though
Anything
they're
that
already
shoots
elite,
and has a
but-
little combat.
Yeah.
Like it's nice to have that in there. So there's
Yeah.
a few units in the game that can use that really well.
Yeah, especially if you have a unit that does good in shooting and in combat.
Yeah.
They did a really good job of balancing out this is elite melee, this is elite ranged.
Yeah. Yep. So it kind of
This
gives you
you
the
can do it
both
for
again.
anything. Uh-huh. It's
That's
nice.
how I like it.
Yep.
The combo.
Yep, exactly. I enjoy Blessing of the Gods too.
Yeah.
All right, well, then that'll roll into my number 2, which is not Blessing of the Gods.
Oh, I was like, it's probably Blessing of the Gods.
My number 2 is Brew of Strength.
Brew of Strength.
Brew of Strength. And let me explain my case here on this
I like
one.
this one.
Brew
I
of
thought
Strength.
about that, and I was like,
The reason why I like Brew of Strength, unlike Brew of Sharpness, is it's cheaper, first of all.
Oh, yeah,
It's
for sure.
30 points for a regiment or a troop, which obviously I'm not going to put on a troop for 30 points. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But for a regiment, let's say Morax,
Oh,
a
yeah.
Morax regiment,
Yeah.
30 points. Now they're crushed 2.
Yeah.
That's good. But the thing I like about crushing, it never goes away.
Yeah.
You never lose your crushing except for stuff that you like this. Never.
Politician talk right there.
You never lose your crushing except for
It's
anything
way
that,
better
that
than
does your
Thunderous.
melee.
Thunderous
Yes.
is not
Yes.
that great.
Now I know there's some spells that'll take away like -1 for -1 to hit. Or I'm sorry, -1 to wound.
Like the weakness
Weakness,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I get that. But other than those spells, you are never losing your crushing.
Yeah.
It's not
you
like
don't have to worry about being
Thunderous.
hindered.
Yep. And that's the
stuff
other
like
thing
that.
too.
Phalanx.
Yep, and that's
all
the thing
that
too.
nonsense.
You charge into a forest. It doesn't matter if you have crushing. You're not losing it off of
Yeah.
charging.
Crushing's
You're not
money.
losing. Crushing is
Crush is
almost
money.
other than like I said, weakness or spells like
Yeah.
that. You're not losing.
When building a list, always look at crushing units.
Yep.
Because crushing is money.
Ensnare doesn't get rid of crushing.
Yeah.
Phalanx doesn't get rid of crushing. Almost every defensive rule in the game does not get rid of
Yeah.
crushing. You always have crushing, and you don't have to roll for it
Yeah.
again. So it's automatic, and it's on every attack.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas, kind of like fire oil, right? It's on every attack. It's not like blade of slashing or whatever, where it's on one attack. This is for all of your attacks.
Yeah.
So if you put it on the right
And
unit,
it's fairly cheap. I mean,
all things considered. I mean, yes, 40 points is still kind of
for a
expensive.
horde and stuff. But I mean, if you're getting a horde with crush, I mean, you already crushed 1, so you push up to crush 2.
Yeah.
That horde is another nasty unit.
Or
coming in.
like what I like to do with my elves, I put them on tall spears.
Yeah.
And now they're crush 1,
Oh,
which
yeah.
doesn't seem like much.
You
but
make an anvil.
You bane channel.
Also a
hammer.
Also a hammer.
Exactly.
Yeah, coming in.
And so to me, Brew of Strength is one of the best ones because you don't lose it almost ever, right? You're always going to have it.
Oh, yeah.
You're always going to use it. Whereas like Brew of Sharpness, if you do hit ensnare, if you do hit,
It just
if you're
balances out in your ensnare.
it does,
Yeah.
but you lose it in essence, right, for that turn. Now, granted, yes,
Kinda,
they take
sorta.
one away,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean? Whereas
Hey,
Brew of Strength, you don't lose
Yeah.
it. I guess is the best way to put it. You don't lose it at all. That's why I like Brew of Strength. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is Blade of the Beast Slayer. Because that is
Ooh.
auto include.
Okay,
Auto
okay.
include.
That was
If you're-
on my
yeah,
top 10.
There's so many dragon players out there and so much stuff.
A large infantry,
Large infantry,
cav,
large cav,
Yeah.
all that stuff. You can make a little individual.
No, I'm sorry,
badass.
monstrous infantry, not
Yeah.
large infantry.
A little individual badass. He comes in there and he kicks some ass. Most of them are already crush 1, sometimes crush 2. You put another crush 2 on top, you're a dragon for 160 something points, 170 points.
Well, but Blade of the Beast Slayer is only like 20, right?
Yeah, but you put them on the character.
Oh, I see what you're
the
saying.
character.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, I don't think
Dragons
there's
are
any
like
warriors.
300.
Yeah, and you're
building-
smacking them around.
You got
Yeah.
an individual, which are like usually like 130, 150, something like that, right in
Mm-hmm.
that area. And then you put the Blade of the Beast Slayer, which is 20.
Oh, and then you hit him with Host Shadow Beast?
Host Shadow Beast, yep, the combos you can stack now.
Before you know it, you're taking down that dragon.
Yep. So that's why I like it. Blade of the Beast Slayer auto include in most armies.
Yeah, I think the only armies really that you don't necessarily have to have it are those high crushing. Like I think even like dwarves.
Dwarves definitely need it.
You have-
definitely need because you get dragons in your backfield. That's the bane of dwarves.
Right, exactly.
And then you have your little.
And then for the heroes, like a lot of the
Berserker
dwarf
Lord
heroes
or
don't
whatever.
have high crushing, right? Like what's the one that doesn't have almost any crushing?
He has like crush 1, the Berserker Lord, crush 1, but now he's crush 3.
But you give him crush 3.
Yeah,
now
crush
he's,
3.
Now he's making
individual
anything sit
coming
down.
in there, 7 attacks, smacking that dragon around. He actually might kill that dragon
Yeah, probably.
if
Will.
he hits first. So he hits first, does the wounds, might kill a dragon. Especially
enough.
with those Shadow Beast. Oh yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, was that your number 1 or number 2?
2. You started.
That's right. That's right. Counting, math. So that'll lead me into my number 1. My number 1, and you might say this because I'm an elf player, but my number 1 is Blessing of the Gods.
Is it? But that doesn't do anything for you, does it?
Well, not as an elf player, it doesn't.
Oh.
But I just like.
Oh, I was like, why are you
the,
bringing up the elf
the
thing?
war gear thing, just because I'm so used to having pretty much elite on
Yeah.
stuff. The reason why, and Tom already alluded to some of this, Blessing of the Gods is my absolute favorite piece of war gear. For 20 points for a regiment or a troop, and 30 points for a horde. 30 points is like that sweet spot where you can.
It's so nice.
You can almost justify that. At
Oh, yeah.
least on one thing, 30 points. It's not going to break the bank.
Yeah.
And it will instantly turn any one of your units better.
Oh, yeah.
Even if it's hitting on 5s. And that's the thing that I like about Blessing of the Gods. You can put it on any unit, whether they hit on 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
It makes it better.
Yes, it makes it way better.
Makes it way better.
And let's have this discussion right now. For those people that are not mathematicians, okay, obviously dice, it's all about probability. And now I know there's people out there that are going, well, Vicious, okay, Vicious is good,
Vicious
but Elite
not
is
as good as
actually
Elite.
better. Right.
Way better. Elite is way better because it's on the first roll.
Exactly.
So you're taking dice away when you have Vicious.
Yep.
Take it from a Abyssal Dwarf player.
And a
I
dwarf
would much
player.
rather have Elite than
So
Vicious.
Vicious is good, but statistically speaking, and probability-wise,
Elite's like
you're rolling more dice.
100% better.
Right, you're rolling more dice on your initial
Yeah.
to hit roll. You already
More
are
chances
rolling
for
more dice.
ones,
More
unfortunately,
chances.
but
Yep.
I mean,
yeah. More chances for ones, but more chances to roll elite with.
Yeah.
Right, or
Yeah.
to re-roll them.
Yeah.
Whereas Vicious, you've already discarded some, so now
Yeah.
you're rolling less dice. So when you're designing this, that's why, because I know people are going to say, "What about Chant of Hate?" I'm sorry, Blessing of the Gods is way better because
Way
you're
better.
rolling more dice
Way
because
better.
you're doing
Chant
your
of Hate wasn't
initial
even
roll.
Close.
Yeah, it wasn't even on my top 10. I will say
I play
that.
Vicious all the time, and it's nice to have. It's a great thing to have, but it's not worth any points.
Yeah. So, and the thing about Blessing the Gods, again, it's the point cost is right there.
Yeah.
Where, again, 20 points for a regiment. That's
Oh, yeah.
not bad. You put on the right regiment.
Oh yeah,
That's not
and
bad.
most of your units like have crushing and stuff, so Vicious doesn't really help you. I mean, if you have Crush 2 or something, that's great. I get to reroll 1s.
Woo!
Woo! I need 4s to hit. 4s to hit coming in. I get to reroll 1s. That's way better.
And then if you're hindered,
Yeah.
You know, or again, if let's say you even put it, if I don't know why, but let's say you put it on zombies.
Yeah.
Let's say you put it on, it's still going to help you because you're still going to roll ones no matter how strong your unit is or how weak they are. You're still
You roll
probability
30
you're going to roll
dice or
ones.
40 dice or whatever you're rolling.
Yep,
Like,
you're still going to roll
you're
ones.
going to roll ones. It's
The
gonna
nice,
happen.
the nice thing about Blessing of the Gods, even though it sounds kind of counterintuitive, you don't have to roll for it, but you do in a way, right? Because you don't have to roll for the effects of the spell, but then
Yeah.
you still kind of do because you're rolling the dice.
You roll the ones.
But yeah,
Yeah.
but that's the whole point of the spell is to re-roll them.
Oh, yeah.
That's why I like Blessing of the Gods. I think for the point cost, it is the most effective. You put it on any unit,
Yeah.
and it is automatically going to make that unit way better.
Way better.
Way better. So that
Especially
is why.
shooting.
Oh, that's the other thing
combat.
too. And you
The
actually brought that
combo.
up, and I totally forgot about that until you said that, and I'm like,
Yeah.
that is right.
It's the combo.
Elite works in both shooting and
Yeah.
melee. Now the question is, does it also work in Magic? Not that it
I mean,
really
you're not going to
matters,
put it on
but
a mage.
you're not going to do that. Don't do that.
Don't. I
I'm
think you
merely
even
saying,
can. I think it has to
down
be
the road,
maybe good.
I think it still works because it used to. I don't know.
I
don't know.
yeah, sure
Does
it
it
would.
work in Magic, guys? Let us know.
Yeah.
Because obviously, I'm an elf player, and so they have that special rule that lets them re-roll certain Magic spells.
But you're not putting that on a mage.
No, don't do that. 20 points to put that on a mage. Don't
Not
do
doing
that.
that. Nobody's
but,
doing that.
if they do come up with a unit that has Magic, though, maybe, I don't know. Why not?
There's some units, I
Right?
think, maybe.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Who knows? Who knows, guys? We're merely just talking at this point. You
Yeah.
know, just you guys are pretty much here listening to us talk about this stuff. So if things come up and they sound kind of stupid, well, we're just stream of consciousness right now. So
Right.
it is what it is. But that is my number one. I absolutely love Blessing of the Gods. What is your number one?
Number one is Loot of the Insatiable Darkness.
What?
That is auto-include in every army.
What?
It is Bane Chant. It goes off every dang turn.
Okay.
No, I mean, it doesn't go off every turn.
I was about to say, it doesn't always go off every
But I mean, you
turn.
have a chance. Every turn, you put down a BSB Loot, almost every army. I don't know why you wouldn't have it. It's like 60, 70 points. For Loot, you get Crushing 1 for 20 points. The possibility every turn, and you can pick a unit, so it's not like it's stuck on that unit like Blessing of the, or not Blessing of the Gods, but what's the Crushing one?
Bruce Strength?
Brew of Strength.
What's the crushing one? Okay, I'll give you
Yeah.
that. You can give it to other units.
Yeah, spread it around.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Loot,
It's a
Loot was
BSB.
in my
It makes
top
a-
10.
Makes a BSB better than
Just a BSB.
just
yeah.
a BSB.
Yeah.
Makes it like a mage. And a mage with Bane Chant's like 110 points.
Yeah, pretty much. Most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A BSB with Loot is like 70 points.
You know,
It does the same, and it inspires, and the mage doesn't even expire. So, I mean, you're getting inspiring, you're getting a Bane Chant for 70 points.
the thing about Loot is
It's inconsistent.
Loot is like that ugly girl that no matter what, like I shouldn't say ugly girl. Loot is like that girl where you're like, no matter what you do, you still end up looking at that girl being like, there's something about her that I just,
I love it.
because
It fails
as
me
much
all
as
the
I don't
dang
want to
time.
include it, you're absolutely right though.
Yeah.
Loot is one of those items where you almost can find it in every army, even though like you're going, I don't need to use that, and then you're like, man, I really like to have some loot right about
I'd
now.
really like some Bane
to
Chant.
boost
I
my
wish
Bane
that
Chant.
Unit had some Bane Chant right now.
Yeah, and I can't give it. I don't have enough points for a mage, but I do have enough points for an ASB,
Yeah.
and then I throw Bane Chant on this
Yeah.
75 points.
You got your inspiring.
I
So
can
you get your
see that.
inspiring covered, you get your Bane Chant covered for 70 points.
I can see
Auto
that.
include. Almost every army I have has a
That is-
BSB
that-
with Loot.
that is
I
true.
love that.
That is very true.
That's so
Yeah,
great.
juicy. Attack the freaking guy with Bane
Right.
Chant and inspiring.
It
Duh.
fails all the time. You think like, oh, I got 2 dice, I should be able to roll 4. I mean, probability's like, gotta be crazy. But
And
you
that's-
fail it all the time.
and that's why for me it wouldn't be top one just because it doesn't happen all the time. But I totally understand
Yeah.
why it's your top one. I
Oh, yeah.
totally get it. It's almost an auto include in every army, and I totally
Every army I
understand
have. I'm shocked if I don't have a BSB with Loot somewhere in my army.
that. So am I. So am I. Well, guys, that is our top 5 list. I know that we went through this one a little bit fast, but they're magical artifacts. There's not really a whole lot to go into it with.
Yeah.
But if you guys if you guys agree with us or disagree with us, you guys have other magical artifacts that you think are better, let us know. Keep in mind, there are some magical artifacts that we have never used.
Oh, yeah.
And that's just
There's
because
some that work better with other armies that we don't play.
right.
So, like, I'm never going to know some of the
Like the one for Mind Thirst.
yeah, the Mind
Yeah.
Thirst.
Yeah. There are some.
I cannot justify the old 50 points for the crystal pendant. I just can't do it.
Hold on though. You have used that before.
Have I?
Yes, you have. I
That must
believe
be
you have, and
years ago.
I ran. It was when we first started playing because I remember I ran a unit into it and I killed him, and you were like, "Cool," and then you did the little roll and you like almost killed my unit.
Yeah. I
So-
just can't justify it. for 50
No,
points.
that was a fun game and it was just a ha whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm totally right there with you.
Yeah.
I'm totally right there with you. 50 points for Crystal Pendant of Retribution.
I mean,
How are
it's
you gonna do
nasty.
it?
It'll
If it
wreck
works.
some shit. It's a 50-50 crapshoot on that one. Because, I mean, it's what, 2d6, Pierce 2, I think, or something like that. Maybe even
And
Pierce
it only
3.
happens one per game.
One per game.
And it's when your unit
And
dies.
you could wreck another unit. But,
Yeah.
I mean, you might get hit with chaff or something. Oh, I'm great. I just
that's the
stacked
problem.
up some chaff.
If it's not the unit that you want,
And
then
it's not even a route roll, I don't think. I think when they take wounds, they don't even have to, like,
I don't believe so.
yeah. So
I don't
you're,
believe so.
You're not even going to route
Yeah.
them. So, I mean,
Which is-
not worth 50 points.
which is kind of sad. But and so guys, like Tom was saying, there's some artifacts that we just don't use.
I don't
what-
use any, so
what-
I use fire oil.
except for loot. Loot is one that you use all the
Fire
damn
oil.
time.
I love loot.
But other than that, I mean, with war gear, it's also kind of dependent on your meta. There
Yeah.
are, and then there are magical items
bunch of 'em.
and artifacts that are out there. There's a crap ton of them that we've never used. I did use the Helm of the Drunken Ram.
Yeah, last game. I could
and
see potential in that.
I
don't
could
know.
see it a little bit.
Maybe.
I don't know. I mean,
Thunderous. It's got potential.
but you can't use Strider or Pathfinder with it.
That's what I put on like a horde of like shield breakers or something.
Yeah, something you're not gonna have to worry about
Yeah.
that.
But
So
then you're
there,
probably gonna take the charge. I don't know.
There's
That's
plenty-
a tricky one to use.
there's plenty of viability with a lot of the artifacts. These are merely the ones that we think are the best.
Yeah.
And hopefully you guys like that. We're also going to try and get a game in here too when we're done. And
Heck yeah.
granted, that's not going to be aired at the same time as this because I'm not that good at editing stuff sometimes, so it takes me a little while to get stuff edited. But hopefully you guys like that top 5 video.
Yeah.
Give us some suggestions for some top 5 stuff. We still have a couple things that we think about that we're like,
Yeah,
oh, that'd be
definitely
cool.
suggestions because I'm running out of stuff. We're like, I don't know what to do next. And then, like, we'll do magic items.
yeah,
so
give
if
us-
you have any better top 5s, shoot them in the comments.
Yeah, give us some ideas on what kind of top 5s you guys want to see. And with
Like,
that,
subscribe.
yep, like, comment, and subscribe.
Definitely comments. I love the comments. Crack me up. Some of the shit you guys post is good stuff. So
Oh yeah,
I
some
love
of it is super good. But with that though, we'll see you guys next time.